Hey everybody, Chris here from Tiny Home Tours. Today's video features Sue. She lives and travels full-time in her 4x4 camper van. Also, I want to say thanks to Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform with thousands of courses, either in the creative space or the entrepreneurial space. I recently completed Jason Gandy's course on Amazon FBA. That one course got me to the point of taking the product that I'm working on from design, and right now I'm in the process of getting samples sent over to me, and that one course contained all that information. It wasn't one of those super expensive courses that you find online where people charge so much for not that much information. With an annual membership to Skillshare, which comes to less than $10 a month, I was able to get all the information that I need, and right now I am in a position to where the product is almost ready to go into production. Being that I have a premium membership, I'm going to be able to take other courses on top of this, not just that one course. That's one of the great things about Skillshare. Once you learn one subject, you can go on to another one and you start building a foundation. At least for me, being on the road, making money on the road, as many things you can learn, as many things you can implement, just makes this life so much easier, and it makes it actually possible. So being that Skillshare is sponsoring this video, there will be a link down in the description. If you click that link, sign up for Skillshare, you'll get 2 months free, and I greatly appreciate Skillshare sponsoring this video. I also appreciate all of you out there watching these videos, giving me feedback, and we will catch you next week.
The reason for going van life is really because I want it to be mobile. I want it to be out in nature and really experiencing life in a more full way. You know, that living in an apartment in Oakland, California wasn't providing for me. My name is Sue Amar, and this is my rig. Her name is Aretha. I've been on the road for about a year, part-time. So let's start with the office, because one of the major requirements for me is to be able to work on the road. And so we debated a lot of different design layouts, and in the end, ended up with, you know, a sofa that pulls out here. And what was really important to me is not only to have a desk, but to be able to possibly have a monitor. It's a pretty traditional lagoon arm. Allows you to sort of move things around. I wanted to be able to have easy access and just like look out on the beautiful settings. So this is my office. It's also a chill space. The other thing about it that I love is that we built this ottoman. So this kind of moves around the van, and it slides all the way up there, and it can like kind of make a sectional sofa. So it also stores things. Crackers. What was challenging for me getting on the road was the fact that I had an apartment. I had accumulated a lot of stuff. I pulled the thread out and started figuring out a van. It's not a rustic build. It's not, you know, so I took a risk by using money I had saved to build it, and planning that and trying to get it to be something that was really going to take me for 10, 15, 20 years was, you know, it was a process. And then I had to downsize. Then I had to find a kind of new home base that was less expensive. And I think the whole process of just building it out and figuring out what you want and all that, it took 5 to 6 months. And, you know, again, as a solo single woman, it's figuring it out on your own. Lots of friends had input, but the process of those steps were really challenging. I think they're challenging for anybody that's trying to build a van. It's like, what order do you put things in? How do you get what you want for the least amount? How do you get out there on the road? Once I was out on the road, it was beautiful. It was, you know, just meeting great people, and, you know, being out and about. I love travel so much that I find it easy to meet people, and that experience was the best part. My builder is from Van Nuys, California, and so this is a custom build. I worked on the design with them and went around and around, but eventually they were the ones that were going to execute it all. And so they make custom window coverings, and they're magnetic, which makes them really easy to put up and down. And they're insulated, so they keep heat out, and they also keep cold out. When I'm staying in one place and I can get the sun right, I like to have it open, but during the summer it's kind of blazing hot, so I will keep them up in order to keep the heat out, and so they're up a lot. Yeah, most of the time. So this is the kitchen, and we really wanted to have everything on one side, and so we've got a sink, we've got a 3-burner propane stove. There's no oven. It looks like there's an oven, but it's just storage. And then we have the fridge. So, this is the kitchen galley. I do have a microwave up here. I don't use it very much, but it comes in handy once in a while. And of course, there's the coffee. So I've got a grinder and a pour over kettle. So yeah, the storage is a little tight. The drawers are deep and big. So I call this my shit show drawer. Basically, welcome to the shit show. So the propane stove actually operates off of one of those green canisters, a camp stove. So I don't feel like I need really large propane tank. It does last quite a while. I mean, I can be on the road for a month or two before I need to change that out. I've got my solar charge controller over here. The microwave does draw a lot of power, but it's temporary. And, if I were running it all the time, it would be a drain on the battery power, but I don't use it that much, and I find that the draw is minimal. I like that I have a lot of space over here. I can work and cook, and then, I've got this other space over here if I need it. So I thought it was going to be too wide, and I actually love it. This is kind of the bedroom dresser / bar / workspace, stand-up desk / extra kitchen. I want to put more and more art up, but I've got a lot of storage here. I have, like tea drawer and coffee, more coffee, always more coffee, sheets, just like medical kit and all that, and then clothing. I've got a couple baskets that really, are hooked in over here so that they don't rattle around, but this is like extra electronic gear, devices that support me traveling as a woman on the road alone. This is my SOS device, walkie-talkies, and then just toiletries. And usually when I get on the road, these are great because I know they won't fall off and I can just stash things in them. So that's where I throw things when I'm gonna hit the road. One of the things that I had to change about myself was not only slowing down, but really being open to all the different people on the road. And I mean, it couldn't be a brighter world of people. The people that I've met on the road are instantly family. And I don't know why it's so good, but it's so good. There's a lot of storage in this van, which I love. We went with like a shiny glossy up top and more of a matte finish down below, but I've got, weather gear and hats and extra coats up here, and then toiletries, and then food. There's a ton of storage in here, and that's really very helpful. So the ceiling is pretty special. I love it because it's just one seamless piece, and so it is basically a whiteboard, so I can draw on it. I can draw on the walls, and it's pretty fun, so we can do a little bit of that. But yeah, we put in some floodlights. We put in these lights that are just LEDs, but you can turn them off if you need to. But I think the thing that my builder was really excited about was just having one seamless ceiling that's reflective, and I really wanted a space that was clean and simple so that it just felt really like calming to be in here and like a sanctuary. So this is my bedroom. The bed is almost queen size. We made it about 36 inches high so that I could store a bike upright in the back. We actually had to build an ottoman or something because I'm about 5 feet tall. So getting up into the bed was definitely an issue. Food, cooking stuff is here because it's close to the kitchen. And then we've got clothes and clothes. We put L-track in up here and down below on the sofa so that I could, connect things. So one of the things I can do is actually hang a hammock across. Is there anything I would change about the bedroom? There's not a lot I would change about the van in general. I love it a lot. And if I had to be nitpicky, I would say that, these are pretty large. This space right here is hard to utilize with sleeping. Advice for women thinking about getting on the road is definitely to just do it. I think it's important to be safe and to think about safety. I've definitely learned from some of my mistakes. When I was in my car and going out on photo trips and stuff, I almost ran into 4 donkeys in the middle of Death Valley. And I did not know there were donkeys in the desert. For some reason, I just slalomed the donkeys. Like I just went, and I was like, I just kept going and I didn't hit them. And it was a wake-up call for me because I literally would have been in the middle of nowhere without my SOS device. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think even, thinking about the little things of like, where is this thing when you are traveling alone? It can't be like back there. And just trying to think through, how do you take the precautions? This is not a cheap device, but I recommend everybody get one of these if you're traveling alone, especially as a woman. And wilderness training, medical, sort of emergency training, and just thinking those things through give me the safety and make me feel like at least I'm doing the best that I can to be prepared. Thinking about where you're staying and trusting your gut. I think that's the number one thing, is trusting your instincts. It was kind of important to me to have some curtain or something, because I think, especially as a woman on the road, at first I felt really vulnerable about being on the road alone and people knowing that I had my life in here. So the curtains really gave me the privacy. I can keep this area really clean when I'm traveling and, free of things. And then really nobody knows what's going on inside. So I kind of, wanted to have that privacy. But as we put this curtain in, it kind of gave me the opportunity to start hanging things from here. And, whether it's a hat or, flannel or extra bag, I'm able to, kind of just jump in the van, grab what I need and go. One other thing that I learned as a tip is, just getting some of these solar lights and putting magnets on the back so that you can kind of plop them down wherever. And there's, light sensors. So if you're on the road by yourself, you can have these on either side of the van, and then it just provides that more safety at night, that if somebody's creeping around your van, the light's going to go off. As a woman on the road, I felt like that was an important safety feature. This is my control panel, and I've got all my options for what I need to turn on and off. So I can, pretty much snooze all the lights. So at night, there's nothing on. And the way the S-Bar works is, you turn on the heater core. You let it heat up, it pulls off the diesel engine and with a tiny little fuel line. And then I do have a little temperature controller. So I'm able to say, just like at home, if you slide this up and down, if your temperature gets warm enough, it'll shut off temporarily, but it'll keep the heater core hot. So the blower will go on and off depending on the temperature, which is pretty handy in the winter. I make money on the road by selling my photography. I'm working on my website and I've been selling prints and doing small cafe shows along the way. So it's sort of a semi-professional gig at this point, but I do feel like it's time to pour my heart into it and give it everything I've got. This is my garage, and one of the major requirements was that I wanted to be able to have a bike on the road. Obviously, it's great to have other ways to get around town. And so I added these mosquito nets for summer. They're super handy. I've got bags and bike locks and stuff here, my hammock. I can throw a shower curtain up here and do a little outdoor shower from here. So the Espar heater, actually that is also my water heater as well. So I can turn that on in the front and then let it heat up. And then when I start running water, it'll also get warm water. The other features back here are that I really wanted to go with a larger water tank. I mean, one of the things that I really wanted to do going on the road was be able to be out and boondock. We've got a little feature here where we can see the water line. Nothing fancy, but it's really good to be able to see where you're at. Hose to fill up water. We've got a tap down here where we can put it in, and I can even filter it if I need to. Mostly what I need is, chairs, a step stool because I am small, extra food, extra rope, some toolkits, some photography equipment, and extra toilet paper and baby wipes. So I love my tires. They're about half my size, and they get me everywhere I need to go. So it is a 4x4, and I am able to, crawl up a sandy hill or do whatever I need to do. So I wanted to have a ladder to get to the roof. I like to shoot photography and sunsets. Welcome to the roof. Up here we have like a single row profile roof deck and 4 solar panels, 490s basically, so that's 360 watts of solar. I've got 2 fans that give me, a lot of circulation. I have a double cradle point router, and it gives me a signal in really remote places. It's super helpful to be able to work on the road and have that. This is a great meditation spot as well. Honestly, I have 0 regrets about getting a van and building it out because it's the perfect vehicle for a single woman. I plan on doing van life for the rest of my life, to be honest. Really, I just truly appreciate the people I've met. I think that generosity and sharing and caring is a big part of it, but I also want to sell my photos and sort of meet other photographers. So you can find me at suamar.com, Suamar Photo on Instagram. You can also find me as the Travel Escape Artist. And so reach out if you want to print or you want to collaborate or, do a photography meetup. I'm really eager to work with others. Thanks for coming. It's a pleasure to show you my van. It's a pleasure to meet everybody on the road, and I can't wait to see you. So look me up.